And welcome back, YouTube. It is 5:20 a.m. Tuesday, March 15th, 2022, which means it's 4:20 somewhere. So I just got done looking at Google Maps, like in the aerial view, just to see if maybe there's a more direct way for me to get from the subway home rather than backtracking through the strip mall to 44th Street. And as much as I doesn't look like there's any way I can go this direction and get north or get out to 46th Street, which is unfortunate. There's a large wall behind the strip mall, which y'all probably can't see. And behind that is interesting. There's an alley that goes around the corner. It's between the row of houses on the other side of the alley. And it goes around the corner and it heads north, but it doesn't connect to anything. It goes a ways and then dead ends. And in the aerial view, there's a lot of trash there, which kind of makes me wonder what's there now. I'm not going to walk there. I don't think I can get to it from here. There's a big wall between this strip mall's back parking lot and that alley to nowhere. But that might be some place to explore in the daytime. I bet I'll find a lot of trash and leftovers of squatting homeless people. That's what I'm betting is there. I don't know for sure. Just kind of guessing, just based on the amount of traffic, the amount of garbage I can see there in the video. Or sorry, not the video. In the current image that Google is using for overhead view. Anyway, yeah, shooting on the third Obama phone again. I hardly ever walk this stretch of McDowell. Hardly ever do I walk McDowell between 48th and 44th. I'm usually going up 44th and either going down like the first street to the north, which I don't even know what it's called, and through that neighborhood, or I'm walking up the Greenbelt on 48th. Yeah, I almost never walk between since I live to the north of here. And I sometimes forget this apartment complex is here. I have no idea what the rents are like here. I would imagine probably more than what I'm paying. This place seems kind of nice. This is a more like traditional. Somebody. Oh nope, they're just turning around, just making a U-turn. Again, very very car-centric. I mean, we've got pathways and stuff through it, but a bunch of separate buildings, 2 stories, balconies. For the longest time, it was illegal to build anything wood frame taller than 2 stories. So that's the reason Phoenix has a lot of apartment complexes that are this style. I mean, nowadays it's all about the 5/1s, but which I gotta admit, I'm a little disappointed that Arlo isn't that. But I guess they just wanted to figure they wouldn't get the rents they were going to get if they didn't just go 100% residential with it and just make it private from for the residents there. Although to be fair, there's a lot of retail and commercial space around here, so it's not like they really need any more around here. So anyway, I was looking at the overhead view. You're a helicopter. I was looking at the overhead view. I did see a shortcut that I've never seen before. I don't know if it's going to really save me any distance or time, but hey, it sounds fun. There's an alley between that apartment complex and the houses on 46th Street. So, yeah, walking up a dark alley in a sketchy neighborhood at night. I'm living dangerously. I would imagine everything's just fine on this alley. It is pretty dang dark though. So subway experience. Asked the cashier sandwich artist, only one guy working alone, asked him when the remodel was done, and he seemed to have no idea what it was I was asking him. He had a really strong Indian accent and just did not seem to understand me at all. I could barely understand a damn thing he was saying. And at one point I asked if he spoke English. He goes, "Yeah, I speak English." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, sure you do. About as well as I speak Spanish." All right. Anyway, he nice guy. I mean, I can't hate on him, but yeah, he's it was kind of frustrating. And apparently he's worked there for all of 2 days or whatever. He's been there less than the time since the remodel. It is kind of chilly out this morning. I didn't realize it was going to be this cold. He did mess up my sandwich a little bit. Oh, dog scared the shit out of me. I wasn't ready for the dog. Hopefully that doesn't cause somebody to come out of a house. So yeah, right there's the property boundary between the school, Griffin School to the north, and the apartment complex I just walked by. And I've long since noticed this stub. I've never had a reason to go up it. In fact, I always thought kind of funny that it only has that house and that house. But it's a stub. It is a street. It is Coronado Road. You can kind of tell that there was at one point, probably, when this street was built, that there was plans to potentially continue the residential suburbia in that direction. And then that's not how it got developed. With obviously at a later time, school being built to the north, and apartments being built to the south, and then the along that property line where Coronado Road would have been centered is just a big long wall that nothing can go across. So yeah, as I said, I've been reading a lot about just walkable neighborhoods, and yeah, that is the sort of thing that does make neighborhoods not as walkable as they could be. Big things that have to be walked around instead of walked across, and that's where older neighborhoods that were built before cars that have smaller square blocks definitely win out over later developments that were designed to be driven through. But the more time I spend chatting with people on Reddit about trying to live without being dependent on cars, the more I realize kind of how blessed I am to be where I am. And I mean, this didn't happen by accident. When I picked out this apartment, and this is like 6 years ago, or maybe 7 years ago now, I looked at a lot of places, and at the time I was on Home Inc., housing assistant, so of course I was looking at places that accepted Home Inc. from a long list that I got from Home Inc., but I was specifically looking for something that was more or less in this neighborhood, and even though I was driving at the time, the sidewalk just kind of ends, and I'm stuck with walking in this dirt, ducking the sign, and then the sidewalk continues here. Kind of interesting, like there's a crosswalk and a place where the sidewalk continues there, but it's within the gate of the school, so somebody who's walking when the school is closed can't utilize it. That was sketchy. Anyway, the alley was definitely unnecessary. I could have just walked to 46th Street on McDowell, but I think coming from that subway walking home that, walking to 46 definitely a shorter walk than walking to backtracking to 44th. Anyway, what was I? Oh, it's another episode of Why Doesn't 46th Street Have a Sidewalk on this side? God damn it. And I don't think I want to walk to the other side and use that other sidewalk because there's somebody just kind of camping out, parked on that road, and that looks kind of questionable too. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, so I was talking about, so I did deliberately, even though I was driving quite frequently at the time when I moved here, in fact, I think I was still driving my CRX when I moved here. No. I'm trying to remember what I was driving when I moved here. That's so long ago. It's hard to remember if I wrecked my CRX when I was living in Tempe or when I was here. I feel like when I moved here, I was driving my green Civic. Anyway, when I, even though I was driving when I moved here, I definitely wanted something that was where I would have the accessibility to bus routes should the car break down. Because I don't feel like I've ever really had a very reliable car, with the exception of the short period of time I was married, and that just kind of came with my wife. I mean, it was ours. I was the one who made all the payments on it, but still, I didn't buy that. It's kind of acquired that with her. I wanted to make sure I had connectivity for bus routes, and also wanted to make sure that I had decent shopping within a walking distance in case the car broke down. I didn't want it to be impossible for me to get groceries and stuff, and I also wanted to be really close to Castaways, which at the time I was doing 3 days a week of karaoke at Castaways. I was doing 2 days a week at Gilligan's, I wanted to really be close to Castaways, but I also wanted to have a shorter, a decent doable drive to coin in the street, I think. I found a really beat up penny. Go me. I wanted to have a doable, drive or bus commute to Gilligan's. He's still hosting there 2 days a week, and also wanted to have an easier drive, since at that point Lily was living with me 5 days a week. I wanted to make sure I had a better drive for getting Lily to school, and this place accomplished all of that. And anyway, as gas prices are going up, and it's a really hot topic about, I'm forced to drive. It's just impossible for me to live without a car because I'm in the middle of suburbia and I'm 5 miles from a grocery store. There's no grocery store a walkable distance from me, or there's no food or restaurant or anything. I responded to somebody on something like that, just talking about how bad they had it. And one thing I'm finding out is that it feels like a lot of the people that are in that subreddit are teenagers who are disgruntled, upper middle class teenagers that are disgruntled that their parents drive nice cars and live in suburbia, but they're not old enough to drive, so they can't get anywhere. Oh, boo-hoo. Yeah. Should be glad you're not living in poverty. Anyway. I don't know if that's... I did kind of call out the person that was complaining about how nothing was walkable from him and everything, and how much it would be to walk anywhere, and how it was just impossible, and there was no transit. And I did kind of call him out for being a disgruntled kid, and never responded to that. So that tells me I'm probably right. But yeah, but yeah, I actually just longer comment thought I should have left, and of course, not many people actually read it, but on Reddit, but I listed like everything, all the amenities or all the things that are within a 1 mile walk of my home. And said, that so many people are like, well, I can't afford to live downtown. It's too expensive. Yeah, it is too expensive to live. I can't afford to live downtown either. Can't afford to live downtown. I can't afford to live in a walkable neighborhood. Yeah, I can't afford to live in Old Town Scottsdale either. Although I kind of had an offer to, but that's another story for another time if I ever divulge that one. I can't afford to live in downtown Tempe. Can't afford to live in trendy, walkable neighborhoods. Yeah, neither can I. But I commented that, I was able to find a place that's affordable, that has all these things within a 1 mile walk of it. And I listed everything. I just actually opened up Google Maps on my other phone. I'm just like looking at all the things. And it was kind of astounding, like how many different restaurants, places to eat there are within a walkable, just, within a 1 mile walk of me, and 3 places to get groceries. And I hardly ever go to a grocery store for groceries. Shit, most of my food comes from that QT right down the street, but yeah, I got the fries just to the north of me. But like when I walk by that Subway, that's right next to a Food City, another grocery store right there. And so often I forget that the Target that's next to me, that's a Super Target. That's a grocery store too. And there, if I increase my radius to 2 miles, there's more grocery stores. So yeah, I'm certainly not in a food desert, just in a desert. So I'm almost home. Really curious if Priscilla's made it home yet. So last Friday night, I stayed out all night. Last Friday night, went to a karaoke bar. Ended up kind of chatting with somebody online, and went over there, hung out pretty much well into the morning, and then rode the bus Saturday morning to a handful of places. Didn't really do much, just mostly wasted time. And ended up making it home by, I don't know, I forget what time, but noon-ish. I mean, early afternoon. And Priscilla wasn't here when I got here. And judging by the way she reacted when she finally showed up, which is probably just an hour or two later, I was still awake. I wanted to go to sleep, but I hadn't gone to sleep yet. Judging by that, I would assume that she was out all night. I haven't asked her about it. She hasn't said anything about it. But yeah, I don't know when she left tonight. I didn't go into work tonight. It's been real easy to take days off at Amazon when I haven't felt like working. I just open up the Amazon A to Z app and see if VTO is an option, voluntary time off, and it is. And I click it, and I got the night off. Yes, it's cutting into my income. Friday, I got the first paycheck that was a result of me taking days off because I didn't feel like going in, and yeah, it makes for a much smaller paycheck. I still think I'm gonna be all right, but yeah, now it's not a time for me to be. Probably not a time for me to be voluntarily reducing my income, but just a lot of days I've just been so frustrated and depressed, and then some days I just am not feeling good, sinus infection, or the weather's been incredibly windy, or it's been rainy, and I just haven't felt up to dealing with it. Haven't felt up to walking in that, and doing the tedious journey of walking to a bus, and riding a bus to a train, and riding a train to another bus, to ride that bus to a park and ride, to walk over a bridge and across part of an unfinished bridge and down a dirt embankment to the warehouse. I just haven't felt up to doing all of that. I mean, it's not like it's not doable, but sometimes I just haven't felt up to it. And, if I had a car, would I have gone in? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Hard to say. But, yeah, did not. Anyway, so I haven't missed, technically I've not missed today, but like I've missed several days. Anyway, and a lot of it's become my sleep schedule has been, I've been sleeping really erratically, and I've been sleeping a lot, but usually I end up waking up sometime in the middle of the night, and then I'm up all night, and I'm not able to get back to sleep. And, oh, by the way, I walked down the alley. Priscilla's car's not here. She's still out. God knows who she's with or where she's at. It's 5:40 in the morning, which makes me wonder what time she actually has to get to work. But it's don't know who she's in bed with, but it's not me. And there hasn't been any bedroom fun between her and I at all since the last video. I was complaining about that not happening, and so there's that. Anyway, she what's happened? I've been staying up, like waking up in the wee hours of the morning, typically midnight-ish. And then I'm awake, and it would be fine if I was getting myself to sleep at the time I would normally get, to bed and try to go to sleep about 8 a.m. But then I just stay up, and I'm not productive. I'm just in bed. I'm taking little naps here and there. Mostly I'm either watching or listening to YouTube, or I'm farting around on Reddit, or looking at other stuff online. Videos of other people having bedroom fun. And I'm and hoping I can maybe get some sleep, and then by the time I'm finally able to get to sleep, it's about the time that I should be leaving for Amazon, and I just know that not only do I not really feel, I feel too tired to deal with the journey there. Once I get there, I got 10 hours of hard labor running a pallet jack. I just don't think I can do it. Yeah, I got to sort this out. I mean, at this point, I'm in no danger of losing that job, because I have been taking VTO through the app, and it's all, approved through the algorithm. And interestingly enough, it's kind of like I found a loophole to be a part-time employee and still receive full-time benefits. I'm still getting the benefits of a full-time employee, which is a lot better than what my daughter is experiencing currently working for Amazon. And still chat with her pretty regularly, and she's told me that she's super frustrated because she just wants to be part-time and doesn't want to work like long shifts, and that they're making her work extra hours above and beyond what her schedule is, which I did have 2 weeks of that. I liked it. I liked those 11-hour days. I mean, they were a lot, but boy, were those paychecks nice. But yeah, she's not wanting to work that much. And the difference between her and I is that because she's designated as a part-time employee, she's getting no benefits at all. I don't think. I mean, she's probably accruing, slowly accruing paid time off, I would hope, and sick time. But as far as like no medical insurance, no retirement, no educational benefits, nothing like that. And I'd be willing to bet in the last couple of weeks, each of the last 2 weeks, she's probably worked more weeks for Amazon than I have. But I'm still in the system as a full-time employee, so. I honestly, I'm not trying to game the system. That's not what I'm after. It's just kind of working out that way. Anyway, I should wrap this up. hopefully that gave you all a little insight as to what's been going on with me the last week. A whole lot of nothing and just frustration with the girlfriend or ex-girlfriend or whatever she is. I should note that one of the days I did not feel like getting up and dealing with the journey to work was Thursday. Yeah, the owner of Bullocks has been trying to call me. I've absolutely not been answering his phone calls because I just don't feel like I'm emotionally ready to deal with that. And I need to sort that out. At worst case scenario, I need to get my ass there and get my stuff. And best case scenario, I need to be ready to work Thursday, but I certainly need to let them know if I am coming to Thursday, if it's even an option. I got to sort that out, and I should really do that today. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for coming with me on the walk, and eat my Subway sandwich and see if the girlfriend has any. See what her creative excuse is for staying out all night tonight, because this has been happening a lot with her lately, and granted, I mean, I did it last week, but I don't know. It doesn't make me any happier with her doing it.